grind of our business and what that means. And he spoke about enjoying the journey instead of focusing on the destination. And of course, Jack proved to me once again that I could never match up. You know, while he's made millions of dollars in bars, I've made tens of dollars in bars. And my tens of dollars is probably from shooting pool, not from meeting clients. And the panels yesterday were unbelievable. I consider all 8 of those participants on both panels to be legends. So as we talk about mentoring, I'm certain that many, as Jack just said, if not every one of us, had mentors as we built our careers. And of course now we're on the other side, serving as mentors to others today. It's how we learn the business, it's how we teach it. As a concept, mentoring is seen as so important that it actually has its own month. January is National Mentoring Month in the U.S. And many famous people have spoken about mentoring and the impact that it can have. Winston Churchill, in a very familiar quote, said, "We make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give." In the Bible, it's written, "Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another." And finally, the great American philosopher Denzel Washington said the following. He said, "Show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences in his or her life." I don't care what you do for a living. If you do it well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on or showing the way. A mentor. And I really think that pretty much sums it up. I also think in our business, really like few others, mentoring, being a mentor, having a mentor, is most important. Through my career, I've been blessed to have had several mentors, some in this room. I also discovered early on that I was actually pretty good at it. I enjoy it, I believe in it, and I've definitely gotten as much from it as I've given. So I assume these are some of the reasons that the committee asked me to speak about it this morning. Now obviously, I mentor 3 other advisors in my office, and I've mentored several in the agency as well. But like many of you, if not most of you, I regularly meet with other Guardian advisors all over the country. Not because I have a financial interest, but because they ask, and I truly enjoy helping others in our business. And mentoring can take many different forms. And the fact is, as I said, many of you have been mentors to me simply based on the presentations you've made or what I've learned in our many conversations over the years. Sometimes you can truly be a mentor from afar. There's no doubt in my mind that throughout Guardian, there are many successful careers that have been shaped by every one of us in this room. And in my case, I actually believe that, one of my unique abilities is actually mentoring young advisors. Helping them figure out, helping them visualize and identify what they do well in their practice, what they need to work on, and really where their opportunities for growth are. So as I said earlier, I've mentored many in my office and my agency through the years. Last year, one of the individuals whom I've mentored was a first-timer at this meeting. His name is David Grulich. David was originally a client. He's now a partner in my office, and he's built a great career at a young age. And again this year, William Green has qualified for his first President's Council. William was originally my banker. We worked very closely together in the early part of his career. He literally modeled my practice down to the way we set up our files. Today, he's one of my best friends, and I'm so proud of the business he's built for himself and his family. So, while helping shape their careers is the altruistic side of it, there's also something, really a lot in it for us when we mentor others. And the first thing I'd like to talk about is our legacy. Now, obviously, our number one goal is first and foremost to build our own business, and that's the way it should be. Secondary to that, some of us might have a desire to help our agency. Of course, others maybe not so much. But I do know that we all have a vested interest and Guardian's continued long-term success. And I know we all want to help there when we can. So, when we think about our legacy, what we'll leave behind after we've retired or when we're gone, it's clearly the clients, the families, and the businesses we've helped through the years. But in my mind, it's also the people we've mentored, the advisors we've helped. It's them times their hundreds of clients. Marty Nackimson said it best when he was quoted for the protege contract. Marty said, "A mentor touches one life, who touches 2, 4, 8, and so forth." There truly is a mentoring multiplier effect. And of course, for us, for our families, for our clients, our legacy depends on Guardian being viable for the next 50 and 100 years. And I believe mentoring is creating that legacy that will last far beyond us. So taking that a step further, when we mentor, we're essentially coaches. And recently I gave a keynote speech where I shared this concept of a coaching tree and how this may be our biggest legacy. We're all familiar with these coaching trees. Nearly every NFL head coach today got their opportunity after learning from some of the coaching legends, like Parcells, Bill Walsh, Tom Landry, Vince Lombardi, and Joe Gibbs, who coached our guest speaker today, Joe Theismann. Of course, one of those branches has made its way to Tallahassee, as Jimbo Fisher is part of Nick Saban's coaching tree, who's part of Belichick's and Parcells' coaching tree. And you guys may like to know that FSU and Alabama are going to be playing each other in the first college football game of the upcoming season. And I know we will be happy to see Alabama lose the last game of last season and the first game of the upcoming season. I'll be there. All right, good, Charles. So, while these assistants were helping their head coaches build Super Bowl winning teams, they were also learning by example. They were learning to lead, and they were being mentored. It really is a win-win. So sure, Belichick's legacy is winning Super Bowls. But it's also extended beyond that to the whole lineage of coaches who mentored under him and who are now coaching and leading their teams and mentoring others. And I believe in that same vein, many of us have our own coaching trees as well. Here's a picture of mine. Mine consists of 3 who have qualified for President's Council, 9 executive or leaders, and 4 who are still working to get there. Many of these I still meet with regularly to coach, and I'm sure there are dozens more who either didn't make it or who I helped from a distance. Of course, there is one more who I'd like to need to add, and that's my oldest son, Austin. He signed his FR contract January 15th. He and I opened an office in St. Pete, and I think he might now be at the top priority of that coaching tree. And for those of you who are still reading your VIPs, keep an eye on it, because hopefully his name will be in there some. But actually, when I decided to get out of the rat race, maybe not fully retired, but maybe not running as hard as I do today, I actually envisioned this possibly being my retirement gig. Helping Austin and these others continue to build their businesses, to continue to grow my tree, and to reinforce my legacy. So what does it take to be a good mentor? Now, this is strictly my opinion, but I believe there are 2 categories of highly productive, top of the table, or council type producers. Again, my opinion. Number 1, both groups have to be very talented. You cannot be in this room unless you have talent. The first group, though, might be so talented that they get their ridiculous results based just on who they are and what they do. The second group has talent as well, but are also very much process-oriented, operating their practice like a business. Those of you who know me know that I fall in that second group. My business model is one that's very much process-oriented. It's a business model built on high activity. And it's a business model, frankly, that's designed to be successful in a smaller community like Tallahassee. And because of these things, I believe it's also transferable. If the process is followed, it can lead to successful, if not similar, results. My friend Bill Katz qualified for 8 chairmans and 18 presidents. And if someone followed Bill around for a year, they would learn tremendously, but they probably would still not be able to do what he does. I'm sure you guys will all agree with that as well, right? But I think that's the case for some highly successful people in our business. They have such unique abilities, they do things others cannot, but it doesn't necessarily translate as well. So our conference theme this week is Our Future Is. And if you have talent and transferable success, and you want to build and grow your legacy, I believe mentoring helps complete that statement. All the people I've mentored, people that are part of my coaching tree, brought value to me. Whether they started with me out of college, on salary, working in the back office, and today are leading their own Leaders Club practice, or introduced me to great clients through joint work. They all helped me grow and get where I am. The fact is, giving back is important, but being a mentor is good business as well. And Deanna talked yesterday about the protege contract. Now, with this protege contract, I believe some of the barriers are gone that might have held us back in the past. And coming up with a mentoring contract was really a number one priority for many of us as president of executive committee, really over many years. Several in this room worked on a committee along with Kurt, Emily Viner, and others. And finally, under Kenyon Lang's leadership as president, and really Kurt and Michael's willingness to think outside the box, we were able to get it done. I mean, the need is pretty obvious. Look around. You guys are getting older. My first President's Council was in Barcelona 20 years ago. And while there are some new faces, many are the same. However, I will say that this meeting seems to be particularly full of a lot of new faces, which is wonderful. Now, by the way, I do want to mention that first meeting in Barcelona, as I look back on that, I do recall as well, my first greeting from Vince was, "Who the hell are you?" Of course.
He must have liked you.
Yeah, no, well, no. I think maybe because he had never heard of me, maybe because I'm from the South, and I'm sure he didn't expect me to make it back. I think the next 4 or 5 years I was greeted with, "Who the hell are you?" But today Vince and I are good friends, and he's somebody I respect tremendously. As you can see, and this is a concerning fact, I think. 41% of Guardian's field force is 50 or older. And I'm certain that as a general rule, that percentage is even higher for this group. I also am willing to bet that a majority of us in this room started our careers at a young age. And for many, like me, I'm sure it's the only job we've had. As you can see, the average age of President's Council when first contracted is 29. Yet as an industry, we don't hire young college grads, and I think even as a company to a large degree, thinking it's too difficult for them to make it. The very way that most of us started. As you can see, the average age for all FRs, inclusive of President's Council, when they contract is 39. So the need is clearly there. Now, on the other hand, I know many of us have had informal mentor or protege relationships. And I'm sure most of us have been burnt on renewals if the FR didn't make it, or with the protege being recruited away. And I believe the new protege contract is a perfect solution for that. So the protege contract provides a bridge to an FR contract. The basic requirements of the protege contract: number one, the protege must be an inexperienced candidate. Number two, they must have a committed mentor. That's where we come in. And by the way, so you know, this contract was created for us. The mentor must be a President's Council qualifier, possibly executive club, to be eligible to serve as a mentor with a protege contract. The mentoring agreement, which includes a springing assignment, starts with the protege contract date. It's available for a maximum of 4 years, giving us ample time to develop them, and giving them a good chance of success. Really, as we know, their best path to success. If the protege achieves Leaders Club by year 2 or 3, she or he is eligible to convert to an FR, but they don't have to. So how does having this formal agreement protect us? Well, if a protege does not become an FR at the end of the 4th year, they do not receive their vested renewals, and the springing assignment goes into effect. The springing assignment occurs even if the protege converts to a broker or a salaried employee. And it's important to note as well that the business written under that protege contract is a closed block. So even if a protege terminates in subsequent years after converting to the FR contract, the vested renewals in that closed protege contract block revert to the mentor or the general agent. As you can see, there's a minimum guaranteed income starting at $24,000 and declining to $12,000 over 4 years. Also, commissions and excess earnings are handled similar to an FR, really exactly the same as an FR. The protege receives full FR benefits. Renewal commissions are paid to the protege when they transition to the FR contract as if they were in that year of their FR contract. And any losses are shared 75% guardian, 25% the GA or mentor. It really is a win for us as the mentor. Springing assignments provide a level of protection for us. Mentoring agreement clarifies expectations and provides flexibility to suit our business model and the needs for developing our firms. It provides for protection and greater service levels for us and our clients. It's a framework for business succession planning for our practice and continuity should something unexpected happen. And finally, it gives us the opportunity to pay it forward and to build on our legacy. So as I close, I understand that being a mentor isn't for everyone. However, I do know that every person in this room currently serves as a mentor for at least a few people. But if not, if you've ever entertained the thought, this contract gives you reason to reconsider. While our first responsibility and what we get paid for, and as I said earlier, really the way it should be, is to take care of our clients and to build our practice. We're also responsible for helping to protect what we've built and to help make sure the guardian is around long after we retire. I personally get as much as I give to all those I've mentored through the years, and I look forward to continuing to build my tree for at least a few more years. So check out the contract and let Kenyon or I know if you have any questions. Thank you.